I'm not frozen, you are. Welcome to This Week in Base Hit. I am your host, Zubaz, joined over here, hopefully over there, maybe he's over here, by my friend, Citizen Clone. Clone, how was your week?
It's all right. How you doing, man? I love that people haven't seen your Christmas tree.
Yep, yeah, I'm getting in the spirit this year. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. It's a new year cometh, and I'm trying to get in the spirit. If you remember, I put up the tree for the first time in my life last year. So, yeah,
Looks
hoping
awesome.
to
Looks
bring
better
some.
than the Yankee hanging out behind you. Was there
Ouch,
news
ouch,
that
ouch, ouch, ouch. Sorry, I just touched the hot stove because it's the hot stove time of the year.
was there any
That's why
news
that's
with
why I
him?
put Juan Soto up. Oh,
Oh my
pretty
God.
good. Yeah,
Look at
I
this.
turned on the animations too. I, I'm bringing a lot of production value to this
That
podcast.
is
I'd just like to
awesome.
point out.
Has there
Um,
been any Soto news
so
since we
yeah, well,
haven't
so
checked it
Soto is going to be the big domino to fall. I was surprised Blake Snell went before him even, or before Corbin Burns at least. But Soto, I think is going to fall in the next week. That's why I wanted to put him up. Potential suitors: Boston Red Sox, San Francisco Giants, New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies. Maybe an outside for the Dodgers, but I think it's probably going to be one of those four. And then the Yankees obviously could still retain him. But
That's the
it,
Yankees late. You don't think Yankees are gonna do it?
I mean, the Yankees are, they certainly have an inside track, but word on the street is that their contract negotiations are topping out below his expectations.
Hmm.
So, and the Yankees put a line in the sand, I think, at an absurdly high $550 million. So, if somebody's willing to give him more than that,
Is that
I I would be shocked.
that normal 550 or is that Dodger dollar 550 deferred?
It's because of Shohei's contract. He like rewrote wrote the rules. I mean,
I've been hearing numbers that are bigger than Shohei's uh from what I was reading, but I don't know if they're saying that that's like today value or deferred, I don't know what's real anymore and what's not.
yeah, there is no real anymore because now like teams because of the Dodgers, they're like baking in like what the inflation value of the dollar in 2032 might be, you know? So they're trying to figure out like what is the net value of today's money in this contract. I don't know. I don't know. I think um what's really driving up the price now is actually the Phillies and Mets. Like they're trying to box each other out as division rivals, and the Mets are getting very worked up about it as they have a tendency to do. I don't know. Either way,
You want to give away your sources, or is this your own personal? You got your own
bunch of
your.
stuff. Yeah, like I think Jeff Passan on Twitter is a great follow. Baseball Insider is a good website. There's a lot of hot stove stuff. Twitter is a great place for baseball rumors, not rumors in general, because you really go off track on Twitter sometimes. But for baseball rumors, it's pretty good. A lot of good writers post their stuff on there. Jeff Passan is really like my guy, though. I think he's
Thought it was
awesome.
Passan, but maybe
Maybe
not.
it's Basan. Yeah, I don't know. I just see it written. Um, but I do want before because we'll stop talking about this and get it into something that we want to announce to the people, but or invite the people to. But I just want to say Juan Soto sucks as a human, and well, no, not as maybe not as a human, but I don't like him. I think like the Soto slide that everybody thinks is so cool is the equivalent to a kid coming up to you in junior high and going like this, like made you flinch, punk, like that. That's what the Soto slide is in baseball. He I don't like him. And I don't know if he's a good locker room presence or not, but I have a sneaking suspicion not. That's all.
They
I'll
keep
just leave
saying
it
that
there.
they keep saying that if he stays with the Yankees, he's got the lineup benefit of Judge, right, to protect him. But like I don't know how much is that going to factor in? I don't know. Do you even care when you're making that much money? Are you
No,
worried about? I mean, it's
I
not
don't
like
think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think the bigger thing for him is probably like in New York or LA, you can get the biggest sponsorship dollars outside of your contract. So like you can create a multiple of your contract in New York just by being there.
Yeah.
If he is like really narcissistic, that's also a great place to be because you become the king of the Empire City or whatever. Like LeBron going to LA was very strategic because he wanted to get into film and media, so that was the place to be. So I don't know. It depends. I bet
Uniform
he
you
makes
look
his
better in?
decision.
Which uniform you look better in? How much does that factor in?
I don't know. I bet it. I bet it's a non-zero number though. Like you don't want. Nobody likes. Like no one wants to look like a Mariner, right? I all you Mariner fans. I was just thinking of a team. I couldn't think of a who it. Oh no, you know what it is? It's the Padres City Connect jerseys that are the worst. You know the this pastel green and pink
Yep.
things. They're just the worst jerseys.
They get people to sign, but yeah. All right.
Yeah, they
I
got
bet by the time
Soto
we
to
get off this
sign,
call,
or well, they traded for Soto.
I bet by the time we get off this call, there's going to be some kind of big signing that's happening.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
so
coming. It's coming.
that's why I put them up there because I think that happens this week. That's going to be the big baseball news of this week in baseball. Now let's talk about what's coming up this week in base hit.
Said invite. So we keep talking about we keep digging into data and Jar, bring up Jar. Jar's been good with digging into the database and doing record book queries on the forums, and we wanted to try to do
We
we were
wanted
trying
to
to do a
steal his
special record
idea
book.
from him, right?
Wanted to steal his idea.
Yeah,
Want to
that's
try
what you
to do
do.
a record book night, uh, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be testing. Hopefully, Mike's going to be there too,
Is Jar
testing
going to
our.
be there?
Huh?
Jar's?
I invited Jar. We'll see if we can get Jar too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
the
explain to people
idea
how this
that
is going to work and
uh,
like what we're trying to get out of it.
next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna get on Discord and we're gonna try to do record book night where you come and I'm sure we'll be on an audio channel, but you can, if you don't want to chat, you can type. But if you've got queries, if you've got record book questions you want to ask, um, send them in. You can send them in before then to give us a chance to get ready. But just trying to dig in, we have an enormous database
We have a huge
full
database.
of
We're going to
stuff.
try and figure out like because we've come on here and talked about some magical milestones that BaseHit has either just hit or on the verge of the 50 million sims, things like that. And then we started digging in a couple of weeks ago. You know, we were trying to figure out like what was the one we were doing?
I was doing salary stuff recently. Oh, out of position, players out of
Out of
position.
position players. Yeah, we've done some streaks. We did the single best game when we were talking about Shohei.
Yep.
Yeah, so we were trying to figure out if anybody had ever had a 5 for 5, 3 home run, 10 RBI game with 2 steals. Like just like what was the most absurd game like that? And then it was like we should just put this out there and see if other people have interesting questions like when we were talking about it, I was like, I wonder across the game which catcher has the best caught stealing percentage. Like that's something I hadn't thought about before, but there's a bunch of stuff like that. So we're hoping that all of you can submit some of those interesting questions to us and we can put it out across our 155 MLB universes and see what the answers are.
Yep. So if you have questions you want to ask for us to dig into in the record book, I'll have a link on here. I'll put stuff on the forums. I'll put stuff everywhere. You can send them in, but we'll try to hit as many as we can that night. Some of them, and if you ask me something I can't find, then I'm just going to tell you, screw you. No, there's some stuff
Just gonna
that's
make it
hard
up.
because some of these, I mean, like the game specific things. If you don't have an achievement for it, like we have how many 50 plus million games, and then when you get into the play by play of that, there's hundreds of rows to
Billions.
those. So yeah, it's billions. So
Yeah.
those queries don't go so fast, but some of the other stuff. But there's always tricky ways to find it. You asked about that caught stealing one, you bastard. It was the wrong. I had one ready for you that you asked, which was the best running,
Stealing
uh
percentage.
the best stealing percentage, successful stealing percentage in a season. We looked at this recently. I
You
don't know
should
if we talked about it
say
on
what
here.
it is.
What do you remember? So I've
I
got there's
uh,
7 guys. Let's see. The best one, 52 and 1.
as a percentage, that's the best one.
I
like
don't know what,
two%
yeah,
caught
what's the
stealing.
percentage? 90, 99, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's
52 stolen
2%.
bases, one caught stealing.
Yeah.
We had a 60 and a two. Uh, but I don't even know who the guy is. We're not even gonna get that. But that's the best.
But
That's the
we
best.
had a guy that was also like 105, which is a little bit worse as a percentage, but it's better like in practicality if you were like you had a guy that was 105.
Missed five. Did we do that? Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy. There's limits. There's limits to how high. Yeah, 78 and four. I've got a guy. Um, whenever we dig into this, this is the thing is that we end up spending
Yeah,
an
you
hour
can go
going
down
down
kind
the
of a
rabbit
rabbit
hole,
hole of it. Yeah.
which is what we want to do.
But yeah, like when we did the best game one, I had so much fun doing that because like you go down a rabbit hole where you look at the achievement itself is amazing, but then you want to figure out like how good was that player? Was that like out of the ordinary for that player? And then you go into the player's history to look at their attributes, and like you can kind of go down a road. But also, I will put this out to you: if you like this game, you want to get better at it. This is a pretty good way to learn about the game too, because you can start to learn about like what maybe is pulling on what to create some of these outcomes.
Yeah, I did not dig into that this time, but looking at the caught stealing percentage on the speed. I'm assuming these guys are huge speed, but I'll look into it before that call. But
Yep.
there's ways to refine it. The person we really need to get doing people that are the master query. Rent is one of the master query people, but he doesn't have the master access like Jar. We'll
Yeah,
have
it'd be
to.
cool. It'd be cool if more people that show up, the better. Hoping for a big audience. We're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna mess with the database, and we never actually talk like a lot about querying the database. So I think that might be interesting to people too, and what our abilities are and aren't
Yep.
to look at all of this data, because it's a treasure trove. But I mean, it is truly a massive, massive, massive database. The game's been around for 20 years. When you think about like, no, it's been around 23 and a half years. Like when you think about all the history there, it's pretty cool to go back in time. And that's the other cool part is you like learn about some of the history of some of these leagues and stuff. Cool.
With all these, there's like qualifiers put on there, but the overtime stuff is interesting too because a lot of it,
The
you know,
game's changed over time.
tech games changed over time. So there's
I think
probably a
that's
modern era. There's probably a time that we should consider to be the modern era
yes.
versus the.
And I think that's the best part because just like Major League Baseball, when you look at the record book, it's like yeah, I mean, between the 1800 years to 1929
Mhm.
or whatever, maybe 1932, that's like an era of its own. And things changed drastically until the mid 60s, and then the 70s are its own thing. Like that's what our game is too, and that's how it should be. That's what baseball is all about.
There's a guy, Leon Day, that Jelly and I were talking about this week. It's not really going to translate, but he's in the Hall of Fame, Negro Leaguer. I think that they are missing, they don't have complete stats on him, but but he had 600 something. He has 600 something innings in his career that are attributed to him. Uh 600 innings. And then you look back and uh Tim Keefe, also in the Hall of Fame, had 600 innings in one season. So like just thinking about like some of those crazy fucking numbers from back in the day. That
600 innings. Wait, what?
600 innings pitched. Sorry,
Oh, 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 oh.
I
What?
jumped ahead. Yeah, I mean that's what he had 600 innings pitched. I think it was just incomplete records from the Negro Leagues.
Oh,
But even
whew.
then, I mean like whatever. But my point was just
Yeah.
was actually about Tim Keefe and seeing the guys that had 600 innings back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's awesome. That's
uh,
awesome.
we've got those
This is
crazy
why we
things.
love baseball. So join us Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. Central, where I am. 5 p.m. out on the West Coast. If you're in Sweden, like Piggy, I don't know what time it is there, but hopefully you can make it too. Yeah, join us. We're going to get into the best part about baseball, the numbers, the streaks, the data, the history.
We'll be on Discord. You can chat with us, or we'll be typing away too. So it'll be both of those things.
Yep.
And I'm sure that I'll put some data sets out there too, if you can't make it then.
All right. So that is this week in base hit, but really we're talking about next week in base hit and baseball. We'll see what happens with Soto. Hope you can be there on Thursday. We'll see you then.